Hi stock investors, JJ here. Welcome back. Well, today on this reaction channel, I'm going to react to these videos about Tesla. The news has come out that may be delaying the launch of the Robotaxi, their launch event there, and the stock price has gone up recently based on this, you'd think, because it's gone down more than 8% today. So let's see some of the reactions and the commentary around this, and I'll react to it. First, the news.
Delaying the unveiling of its Robotaxi to October from August. That's sending Tesla shares down 6% today, and shares of Uber in the opposite direction by nearly as much. Deirdre Bosa has more in today's Tech Check. Deirdre?
Kelly, I mean, that chart says it all, right? The reports not just impacting Tesla, but the rideshare companies. You mentioned Uber, Lyft also popping on that headline. They've been very...
So it's seen as a, in opposition here with Tesla and the ride sharing. If robotaxis get going, will Lyft and Uber suffer because of that? We don't know that yet. This is all conjecture, but that's what the market thinks.
Volatile around Tesla's Robotaxi announcements. Investors concerned that their existing rideshare networks could be threatened by Musk's ambitions. A potential delay in that event puts Tesla as a new entrant further out and does throw some cold water on Musk's characteristically ambitious claims. An underappreciated threat, though, may actually be Waymo. That's the Google self-driving subsidiary. It opened up to the public here in San Francisco just a few weeks ago, and it's running on its own rideshare network, delivering tens of thousands of weekly trips.
It does, but the problem here with Waymo is that the cars are very expensive. Will it be profitable? I've heard various venture capitalists like Bill Gurley saying, how could they ever be profitable if their cars are so expensive? The equipment on these cars, of course, Tesla's going with cameras, just cameras. Can that even work with just cameras? And they need to do this launch event, and it's delayed.
Trips. I spoke to an investor recently who's short Uber because he thinks that Waymo could eat into its market share in places like San Francisco and LA, and that could spook investors. Aside from robotaxis, though, there's other issues weighing on the rideshare complex. Yesterday, Uber and Lyft were lower as Massachusetts pushes ahead with a ballot question that would give gig economy drivers the right to form a union, which again, Kelly, underlines that regulatory risk around human drivers that are categorized as independent contractors in the gig economy. That is, of course, the bull case for robotaxis. They would eliminate that risk factor. It may just take longer to get there for Tesla, at least.
All right. It could do. Okay, so we've got more clips here. That was just the news, and we've got some commentary here, of course. Oh, actually, before we get to the commentary, what I found strange is on this very day that this Robotaxi event was, it wasn't announced, it was leaked. We have ARK here talking about Robotaxis with their massive valuation. I've just got a brief clip here. They've actually,
And we expect roughly $28 trillion in enterprise value to be created in 2030 thanks to robotaxis or autonomous ride hail. So
that's a huge amount, and they go into in detail here, and obviously they've got a huge bullish claim, but it comes across as like a bit of PR for Tesla when it comes out on the same day as this leak. Is that it could be just a coincidence? And we've got this guy here. Next, an investor's guide to Q2 earnings. Of course, Tesla's earnings are coming up soon, late July. The last earnings were pretty bad, let's be honest. I did cover that extensively on the other channel, The Art of Value, a link in the description to that. And it really, the margins are going down, the cash flow is even going down, things don't look so good. So this is why the stock price rocketed recently, because of this hope on robotaxis for sure that things are looking up and it's going to happen, and Elon Musk promising it went down. So this guy is saying, listen to what he says.
But right now, Tesla's starting to look like a mainstream type of meme, so to speak, because of this huge run it's had, maybe fueled by short covering initially. And maybe we're wrong. Maybe the sum of the parts are greater than whole, and that's why it's trading like that. But I suspect it's a little bit more than that. So I'd be careful buying Tesla at these levels.
Yeah. So that was before the big drop, I think, but it hasn't gone down that much. But he refers to it as a meme stock, a mainstream meme stock. And then this is the latest one. Hard to justify Tesla's valuation without robotaxis. I reacted to this guy the other day, this analyst who's pretty bearish on it, and obviously they've looks like they might have delayed the event, and if so, what does this guy say about the valuation?
Now, to Tesla, it is the mega cap that was down the most in today's session, down about 8.5%, after a report that the Robotaxi event that we expected in August, it's not going to be till October. This pullback breaks an 11-day win streak. And on Friday, Guggenheim analyst Jewsikow joined the show and warned about headline risks about this robotaxi event.
Notice the price is down 8.44% there on the screen as we speak. So it just shows you how much of the valuation is riding on this robotaxis. If we can just, on the announcement that it's going to be delayed down that much, that's a massive, massive amount in dollar terms for the company.
And Jewsikow joins us now. Well, this isn't as dramatic a move as you might hope, I imagine. Yeah, and I mean you specifically, Ron, because of your sell rating here. But what does it say? And this was the robotaxi event that Elon Musk announced some months ago, kind of rescued the stock. It was on the decline. He said, oh, we're going to do this event. People got excited. And now it's getting pushed off. Why, do you think?
Yeah, it's a good question. And to be clear, we don't have all the details right now. But I would say the genesis of this event, or at least the genesis from an investor point of view of when this started, was there were reports that the next generation platform was being canceled. And they were scheduling the 8.8 robotaxi event that same day was when the public announcement was made. I think there was skepticism even at that time when we were talking with investors about what they could actually show. But we have entered this almost hype cycle over the last several months ahead of this event, which our view was it did create some risk. It's much easier in our seat not actually allocating capital to say there was risk there. But I think at this point now, Elon's called himself the boy who cried FSD being full self-driving. You do have this unreliable or lack of credibility with the narrator now that's starting to emerge, because even showing a prototype is only the first step of actually commercial.
Is Elon the unreliable narrator there? People do possibly forget how long he's been sort of promising this. Or I think it'll be this year. I think it'll be this year. It's coming up 10 years at this point. So they've really got to come up with something here. I mean, could they be, for this event, could they be getting a robo-cab, a cyber cab together with no steering wheel? And I mean, is it going to be working? Is it just going to be a show event? You'd think it might just be sort of a show event, and will it be enough? But now it's being delayed even. So what are they doing behind the scenes? Well, possibly delayed. We haven't had official word yet as I'm recording this.
Commercializing a robotaxi. We think this is 2030 or potentially well beyond 2030 before Tesla has a product in the market. Mm-hmm. It's important to note that Waymo and numerous operators in China, Baidu Apollo being the biggest, have robotaxis operating on the road today.
Now, arguably, it's not like Elon Musk was E.F. Hutton before this. Like, we've gotten used to Elon Musk saying, I'm going to show you this thing, or here's what it's going to be. And then it's not exactly that. So maybe we shouldn't expect that this is the beginning of a great tumble for the stock, because I think the shareholders, the people trading Tesla, sort of expect Elon to be Elon. No? What's different about this time, if anything?
No, I think that's fair. I think there's always a willingness, for lack of a better term, to suspend disbelief with some of the promises that are made here. And to be clear, Tesla does have a lot of data advantages. We just think there's questions around, with the legacy fleet, if there's enough inference compute, particularly hardware 3 and earlier, to actually run FSD. And then the whole flywheel of putting the initial Model 3, Model Y vehicles on the robotaxi network is at risk, and showing data to regulators becomes much harder because you don't have actual self-driving or level 4, level 5 testing data to show regulators to give them confidence. Yeah,
it's a good point. The regulation, I keep saying that myself about how is this going to work in terms of regulation. It was different with, say, Uber, where they just, that whole Silicon Valley thing of, you don't ask permission, ask for forgiveness later. You can't do this with full self-driving because it, lives are at risk here. It's like the Elizabeth Holmes thing, the same thing. Well, let's hope it's not fraudulent like that at all. But that there were lives at risk there, and they were found to be very wanting. And so there are investigations here. So they've got to. How long can they delay? Is it? There were questions about whether this is fraud or not. If it goes along too long, they can. And they're saying that we're trying to get it out. Whether they know that they can't or not would be the issue with the investigations there. Anyway, that is. I'll put a link to the rest of that in the description if you want to see that. And thanks for watching this one. I'll put a link on the screen to what YouTube thinks that you should watch next. If it might be one of mine, it might be not. And do subscribe. Put the subscribe link on the screen. Subscribe to this relatively new channel, reacting to videos like this every day. So do follow along if you want to. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.